Hello everyone and welcome to our session on aldehydes and ketones. Today, we are diving deep into a fascinating and very important reaction, the haloform reaction. This reaction is not just a laboratory curiosity, it's a powerful tool for distinguishing compounds and even synthesizing new ones. We'll journey through its simplicity at the easy level, uncover its mechanisms at the medium and hard levels, and finally, explore its advanced applications and theoretical underpinnings at the hardest level, preparing you for the toughest advanced challenges. Let's begin. Ready to discover how a simple reaction can create a distinct color and smell? Let's explore the basics of the haloform reaction. So, what exactly is the haloform reaction? At its core, it's a chemical process where a specific type of organic compound, either a methyl ketone, which has a CH-CoA group, or a secondary alcohol that can be easily oxidized into a methyl ketone, reacts with a halogen, like iodine, bromine, or chlorine. This reaction needs a strong base, such as sodium or potassium hydroxide, to proceed. The magic happens as it produces two main things, a haloform, which is a compound like chloroform, bromoform, or iodoform, and a salt of a carboxylic acid. This reaction is incredibly useful, especially for identifying certain compounds in the lab. To understand which compounds react, look for the CH-CoA group. Common examples include acetone, which is a ketone, and acetaldehyde, which is an aldehyde. Even ethanol, a primary alcohol, reacts because it first oxidizes to acetaldehyde. However, compounds like formaldehyde or most other ketones without this specific methyl group will not react. The iodoform test is a classic example of this reaction in action. When you use iodine and sodium hydroxide, if the compound has the required functional group, you'll see a distinct yellow precipitate of iodoform forming. For instance, if you take acetone and react it with iodine and sodium hydroxide, you get yellow iodoform, along with sodium acetate and other byproducts. Now, let's test your understanding with some practice questions. Pause the video, try to answer them, and then check your solutions. These questions will help solidify your grasp of the basic principles of the haloform reaction. Good luck! Now that we've covered the basics, let's dive deeper into the haloform reaction. We'll explore the specific reactants and understand the step-by-step process. The haloform reaction isn't just for any compound. It's quite specific. Firstly, it requires methyl ketones, which are molecules containing a CH-CoA group. Think of common examples like acetone or acetophenone. Secondly, certain secondary alcohols, those with a CH-CH, OH, structure, also react because they can be oxidized in situ to form methyl ketones. Ethanol is a unique case among primary alcohols as it oxidizes to acetaldehyde, which then reacts. So, only acetaldehyde among aldehydes and ethanol among primary alcohols undergo this reaction. For the reaction to happen, we need a halogen, typically chlorine, bromine, or iodine, and a strong base like sodium or potassium hydroxide, which provides the essential hydroxide ions. Let's break down the mechanism into key steps. First, the base deprotonates the acidic alpha hydrogens of the methyl group, creating an enolate. This enolate then reacts with the halogen, replacing a hydrogen with a halogen atom. This alpha halogenation happens 3 times, leading to a trihalogenated methyl ketone. The 3 halogens are highly electron withdrawing, making the carbonyl carbon very susceptible to attack. Next, a hydroxide ion attacks this electrophilic carbonyl carbon, forming a tetrahedral intermediate. This intermediate then collapses, expelling the trihalomethyl anion, which is an excellent leaving group. Finally, this anion quickly grabs a proton from the carboxylic acid formed, yielding the stable haloform and the carboxylate ion. So, it's a sequence of halogenation followed by a cleavage. Beyond being a cool reaction, the haloform reaction has significant uses. It's a classic method for preparing haloforms like chloroform, bromoform, and iodoform. More importantly, it can be used synthetically to convert methyl ketones into carboxylic acids, effectively shortening the carbon chain by one atom. This is a valuable transformation in organic synthesis. And of course, its most famous application is in qualitative analysis. The iodoform test, specifically, is a diagnostic chemical test. The formation of a distinct yellow precipitate of iodoform helps us identify compounds that contain either the CH-CoO group or the CH-CH or group. For example, it helps distinguish between pentane 2-1, which gives a positive test, and pentane 3-1, which does not. Time to put your knowledge to the test. Here are 5 practice questions designed to deepen your understanding of the haloform reaction's mechanism and applications. Take your time, think through each one, and then review your answers. This is crucial for mastering the topic. Alright, let's push our understanding further. We are now moving into the hard level, where we'll dissect the detailed mechanism and explore theoretical connections. At the hard level, we look at the mechanism in even finer detail. The process starts with the strong base abstracting an acidic alpha hydrogen from the methyl group, forming a resonance-stabilized enolate anion. This initial deprotonation is often the rate-determining step for the first halogenation. The enolate then attacks the halogen molecule, leading to the alpha monohalogenated ketone. Here's a key point: the halogens are electron withdrawing, so each halogen introduced makes the remaining alpha hydrogens even more acidic. This accelerates the subsequent deprotonation and halogenation steps, ensuring all 3 alpha hydrogens are replaced, forming a trihalogenated methyl ketone. The final step is a nucleophilic acyl substitution. Hydroxide attacks the highly electrophilic carbonyl carbon of the trihalogenated ketone, forming a tetrahedral intermediate. This intermediate then collapses, expelling the trihalomethyl anion, which is an excellent leaving group due to its stability. This anion quickly protonates to form the haloform. Regarding stereochemistry, for simple methyl ketones, the alpha carbon becomes a chiral after complete halogenation, so no new chiral centers are formed at this position. However, if the R group already contains a chiral center, its configuration remains unaffected. The reactivity order of halogens is important. I is generally less reactive but provides cleaner results for diagnostic tests due to easier isolation of the solid iodoform. Cl and Br are more reactive and can sometimes lead to side reactions or overhalogenation. The reaction's primary limitation is its specificity to compounds with the CH-CoO or CH-CH or groups. Other ketones and aldehydes typically don't react. Careful control of conditions is vital to minimize side reactions like aldol condensation, especially with more reactive halogens or at higher temperatures. Synthetically, it's a valuable method for converting methyl ketones to carboxylic acids, effectively shortening the carbon chain by one carbon atom. The haloform reaction beautifully illustrates several fundamental chemical theories. Firstly, it highlights the enhanced acidity of hydrogens alpha to a carbonyl group, which are readily deprotonated by a base to form enolates. Secondly, the electron-withdrawing inductive effect of halogens is crucial. It not only increases the acidity of subsequent alpha hydrogens, accelerating halogenation, but also makes the carbonyl carbon more electrophilic, facilitating nucleophilic attack. Thirdly, the stability of the trihalomethyl anion as a leaving group is paramount, attributed to this strong inductive effect. The final cleavage step is a classic example of nucleophilic acyl substitution on a ketone. Comparing it to the Helmholtz-Zielinski reaction, both involve alpha halogenation, but HVZ is for carboxylic acids under acidic conditions, while the haloform reaction targets methyl ketones under basic conditions, leading to cleavage. It also differs from aldol condensation, where enolates attack other carbonyls rather than halogens. Now, let's challenge your analytical skills with these 7 hard-level questions. These problems require a deeper understanding of the mechanism, theoretical underpinnings, and practical implications of the haloform reaction. Spend adequate time on each, and think critically about the concepts involved. Welcome to the hardest level of our haloform reaction journey. Here, we'll delve into competitive depth, explore advanced insights, and connect this reaction to broader chemical principles. At this advanced stage, we consider the nuances of kinetic versus thermodynamic control. In the haloform reaction, the exhaustive halogenation is driven towards thermodynamic control, ensuring all three alpha hydrogens are replaced. Base concentration is key. High concentrations ensure rapid and complete deprotonation. The identity of the halogen also matters. Iodine is less reactive, leading to slower initial halogenation but often better selectivity, which is ideal for diagnostic tests. Chlorine and bromine are more reactive, sometimes leading to overhalogenation or side reactions in complex molecules. The initial deprotonation to form the enolate is often the rate-determining step for the first halogenation, but subsequent halogenations are faster due to the increased acidity of the remaining alpha hydrogens. The strong electron withdrawing effect of the halogens on the carbonyl carbon significantly enhances its electrophilicity, making the nucleophilic attack by hydroxide highly efficient. The stability of the trihalomethyl anion as a leaving group is paramount, primarily due to the powerful inductive effects of the halogens. Beyond its diagnostic role, the haloform reaction is a valuable synthetic tool. It offers a unique way to convert methyl ketones into carboxylic acids, effectively shortening the carbon chain by one atom. This can be strategically useful in multi-step synthesis. While the initial alpha halogenation can be reversible under specific conditions, the basic environment of the haloform reaction drives it irreversibly towards complete halogenation and cleavage. Careful control of reaction conditions, such as temperature and base concentration, is essential to minimize undesirable side reactions like aldol condensations, especially when other alpha hydrogens are present. Although the alpha carbon becomes a chiral, the reaction can be applied to synthesize chiral carboxylic acids if their group already possesses chirality, without affecting that existing stereochemistry. Historically, this reaction was significant for industrial production of chloroform, showcasing its practical engineering relevance. Spectroscopic techniques provide powerful insights into the haloform reaction. Superscript 1H NMR spectroscopy can directly monitor the reaction's progress by observing the disappearance of the methyl proton signal of the starting ketone and the appearance of the characteristic proton signal of the haloform product. For example, the methyl protons of acetone typically appear around 2.1 ppm, while chloroform protons appear around 7.2 ppm. IR spectroscopy can track changes in the carbonyl stretching frequency. The electron withdrawing halogens typically increase the C is equal to O stretching frequency. Mass spectrometry can confirm the formation of haloforms and carboxylates through their unique mass fragments and isotopic patterns, especially for chlorine and bromine. The efficiency of the haloform reaction is highly dependent on the electronic nature of the R group. Electron withdrawing groups enhance reactivity by making the carbonyl carbon more electrophilic. While steric effects can play a role, the electronic effects of the CX group usually dominate. The distinct yellow precipitate of iodoform makes the iodoform test particularly effective for qualitative analysis, unlike chloroform or bromoform, which are liquids. The haloform reaction, while a classic, has broader implications. While not directly biological, the underlying principles of alpha deprotonation and nucleophilic attack are fundamental to many enzymatic reactions involving carbonyl compounds. Its mechanism has also inspired the development of synthetic analogues that utilize different leaving groups or nucleophiles for diverse transformations. Historically, haloforms like chloroform were significant as solvents and even anesthetics, and iodoform had antiseptic properties, though toxicity has limited their modern use. the production and disposal of halogenated organic compounds, including haloforms, raised environmental concerns, prompting research into greener synthetic alternatives. Ultimately, the haloform reaction has been a cornerstone in elucidating reaction mechanisms involving enolates and nucleophilic acyl substitution, greatly contributing to the field of physical organic chemistry. Future research continues to build upon this foundational understanding to develop milder, more selective, and environmentally friendly methods for carbonyl functionalization. Here are the first 5 challenging questions for the hardest level. These problems require you to synthesize knowledge from various organic chemistry concepts and apply them critically. Take your time, analyze each scenario, and devise comprehensive solutions. And here are the remaining 5 questions for the hardest level. These questions demand a deep conceptual understanding, analytical reasoning, and the ability to connect different aspects of organic chemistry. Engage with them thoroughly to truly master the haloform reaction and excel in G Advanced. And that brings us to the end of our comprehensive session on the haloform reaction. From its basic definition to its intricate mechanism and advanced applications, we've covered every angle crucial for G Advanced. Remember, consistent practice and a deep understanding of concepts are your keys to success. For more such in-depth educational content and to explore other topics, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for regular updates and valuable learning resources. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing your limits. See you in the next session.